Kale enters a controlled receiving zone where identity, hygiene, and traceability begin.
Controlled transfer prevents mix-ups and keeps incoming raw produce inside designated traffic lanes. Staging organizes the lot before weighing and inspection, reducing handling errors and cross-traffic.
The audio features the ambiance of a factory setting, with the rhythmic clatter of a pallet jack moving across the floor.
Digital lot creation links mass balance to all later quality and process decisions.
Document review confirms the shipment matches the ordered raw material before any food contact transfer occurs.
First, we match the supplier lot and date, then confirm the basic specifications against the receiving record.
Inbound temperature indicates how well the cold chain was maintained before processing.
Immediate record entry preserves auditability and supports release or hold decisions. Representative sampling reduces bias and gives the lab a realistic picture of lot condition.
Small test preparation allows fast analytical checks without committing the production lot.
Valuable solids help characterize incoming raw material consistency before formulation later in the process. Recording raw material data now supports later standardization without guessing.
Captured acidity data helps the process team confirm the lot is suitable for the planned puree run.
Defect logging connects inbound observations to expected trim loss and process efficiency.
Early foreign matter review prevents unsuitable material from entering wash equipment and protects sanitary design. Pending lots stay segregated until all checks confirm they are fit for production. Physical segregation backs up paperwork and prevents accidental use of unreleased raw material. A consolidated review prevents single-point oversights and supports a controlled release decision.
Once criteria are met, the lot can move forward under FIFO control into the wet processing area.
Visible lot coding keeps the release decision attached to the physical material all the way through processing. One-way traffic from receiving to raw intake reduces backtracking and supports hygienic zoning.
Audio features a voiceover commentary. A male voice explains that a controlled zone transfer moves.
Proper positioning of the tipper allows controlled emptying into the wash system with minimal rough handling.
Controlled dumping starts the wet line while limiting leaf damage and keeping the area cleanable.
The first wet transfer presents raw kale to coarse screening, so large debris does not overload downstream wash equipment.
Early debris removal protects wash performance and improves the hygiene of the downstream raw line. Even flume loading keeps leafy produce moving gently toward the primary wash stage.
Uniform dispersion exposes more leaf surface to washing and reduces hidden debris pockets. Gentle bubble action loosens soil from folded leaf surfaces without harsh mechanical damage. Suspending dirt in the wash water helps separate contamination from the edible leaf stream.
Targeted spray rinsing carries loosened soil away before sanitizer contact is verified. Sanitizer dosing must be controlled to support microbial reduction without overexposure or residue risk. Validated contact time is as important as concentration for consistent wash efficacy. The final rinse removes residual wash chemistry and carried away remaining suspended fines. Full surface rinsing improves cleanliness before dewatering and optical inspection.
Controlled transfer from water to belt begins moisture removal before sorting.
Pre-water removal improves visibility for inspection and reduces dilution in the extraction step later.
Lower surface moisture makes later optical detection and manual inspection more reliable.
A wash recheck confirms the lot is clean enough to proceed into detailed sorting and prep.
Visible cleanliness at this point supports efficient downstream sorting and protects pulping equipment.
A wide inspection surface spreads the product for more accurate defect and foreign matter removal.
Optical inspection adds consistent, high-speed detection beyond what manual sorting alone can achieve. Targeted rejection protects puree quality and reduces unnecessary loss of good material. Reject verification confirms the sorter is removing the right mold.
Manual trimming captures occasional defects that automated systems may leave behind.
Controlled feed into the prep conveyor prevents surges at the first size reduction machine. Uniform metering improves piece size consistency and keeps downstream pulping stable. Coarse chopping increases surface area and prepares the leaves for efficient wet grinding. An even chopped feed helps the grinder draw product consistently and reduces process variation. CIP verification proves the sanitized transfer path is ready before puree contacts the downstream closed system.
Stable grinder loading is the final prep step before the product becomes a pumpable green mash for pulping. Controlled infeed keeps the grinder loaded evenly and prevents surges that can destabilize the extraction line. Grinding converts chopped leaf tissue into a wet mash that the pulper can separate more efficiently.
Short enclosed transfer reduces exposure and keeps the mash moving directly into the next separation step.
Metered pulper feed improves separation consistency and protect the screen from overload. The pulper begins separating smooth, edible pulp from tougher leaf fiber and stem material. The main outlet carries the smoother fraction toward finishing, while coarse residue is handled separately.
Coarse residue removal protects the puree stream and creates a controlled starting point for fiber byproduct recovery.
Controlled pumping maintains steady feed into the finer separation stage without exposing the product to open handling. Stable pressure and flow help the finisher polish the pulp without forcing excess fiber into the mainstream. The finisher narrows particle size and removes stubborn fibers for a smoother, more consistent puree base.
This visible split locks the valuable puree onto the main aseptic route, while fibrous solids move to the dedicated fiber powder line.
Inline sieving removes remaining coarse particles before deaeration and heat treatment. Dewatering is the first step in preparing stable fiber solids for drying and milling. Removing free liquid lowers dryer load and keeps the fiber powder route efficient. A buffer tank smooths short upstream fluctuations and keeps downstream equipment steadily fed. Deaeration removes entrained air that can affect oxidation, fill accuracy, and heat transfer. Removing trapped air improves color stability and prepares the puree for controlled thermal treatment. Once air is removed, the puree can move into final composition control with better process stability.
Even drier loading helps moisture leave uniformly and prevents scorching or wet pockets.
A thin, even bed supports consistent drying and a more stable milling feed later. Controlled drying lowers moisture to a stable level suitable for safe storage and milling. Dry brittle flakes are the correct feed form for the milling stage that follows. Controlled mill feed protects particle size consistency and reduces overload risk. Milling creates a consistent fiber powder byproduct that can be packed as a separate B2B ingredient. Sifting improves powder uniformity and removes oversized particles before bagging.
Separate byproduct packing preserves traceability and prevents any return of fiber solids to the main puree line.
Wastewater treatment begins by removing coarse solids, and this stream never returns to the food process.
Dissolved air flotation removes suspended solids and grease from process wastewater before biological treatment. Biological treatment reduces dissolved organic load before discharge handling, with no return to food production.
After extraction and deaeration, the puree enters controlled standardization before the validated heat treatment step.
Uniform circulation makes composition control more accurate before heat treatment. A verification sample confirms the blend is on target before thermal processing begins.
Solids verification helps keep the finished puree consistent from lot to lot.
Legal bricks adjustment is made by blending with concentrated puree, not by adding unrelated ingredients.
Thorough blending ensures the corrected composition is uniform before it reaches the pasteurizer.
Controlled discharge keeps the standardized puree moving steadily into final texture conditioning.
Homogenization reduces texture variability and helps the puree flow consistently during heat treatment and filling.
A more uniform puree supports stable heat transfer and repeatable hold performance at the CCP. Stable feed conditions are necessary before the pasteurizer can achieve the validated heat profile.
The pasteurization CCP is controlled by continuous time and temperature evidence, not by assumption. The hold tube ensures the puree remains at the required conditions for the secure sample handoff preserves chain of custody without disturbing the treated product flow. The aseptic surge tank buffers the sterile product stream and stabilizes further processing. Aseptic drum filling transfers the treated puree into a sterile barrier package for B2B distribution. Correct sealing preserves sterility and prevents post-process contamination during storage and transport. Each drum receives a traceable identity that links it to the receiving lot and thermal records.
Check weighing confirms fill accuracy and supports shipment mass balance.
Vision inspection checks that closure and identification remain correct before warehouse entry.
End-of-line X-ray provides a final foreign body control at a point where packaged product can be inspected logically. Controlled palletizing protects package integrity and prepares the product for safe distribution.
A stable pallet pattern reduces movement in storage and transit, protecting seals and labels. Wrapping stabilizes the load and keeps the pallet identified through warehouse handling.
Dispatch staging keeps finished product organized by shipment while preserving traceability to the production records.